What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Premodern video. We're going to be trying a deck that has been going around in my head for a while now. So this is a black-red discard spell. This is based off of Manos list, Brian Manolakos that is. And this is a Lavaborn Muse deck, which is trying to get our hands, opponent's hands depleted thanks to Cabal Therapy, Duress, Ravenous Rats, and then we even have access to a Stupor in the sideboard. So we're going to be talking about that in a second right now. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to force our opponent's resources while we actually get card advantage, thanks to the rats themselves, thanks to Phyrexian Rager, thanks to Skeletal Scrying, and then eventually we put the hammer down with Lavaborn Muse. One thing that has always surprised me about this deck is how quickly this card turns the corner. Like, this is a 6 damage, this is 6 damage every single turn, right? Like, every turn cycle at your opponent's upkeep, they take 3 and then you can attack for 3. So as long as you can keep the board clear, thanks to Terminate, Lightning Bolt, thanks to Fire Covenant, which has my vote for one of the most underplayed cards in the entire format, all of these cards allow you to keep the board clear and then, you know, use Skeletal Scrying to refuel, and then clock our opponent thanks to the Muse, and then random beats with Ragers, Ravenous Rats, and finally some copies of Mishra's Factory. You're going to notice that I'm playing a bunch of lands, 24 lands. This is because I'm not messing around with cards like Dark Ritual. I think Dark Ritual is one of the cards that makes this deck bad because it cannot really capitalize on the advantage that it gets. So I think you're just going down a card. I'd much rather have access to a stable mana base thanks to Bloodstained Mire and like some basics, Sulphur Springs, a bunch of swamps, and a singleton copy of Tainted Peak. You will notice that I'm not playing multiples, even though we actually have 11 mountains, swamps here. This is very, very low on the count of black sources for Tainted Peak, so I would not be surprised if I should not even be playing a single copy. Maybe this should be an extra swamp, maybe this should be maybe an extra mountain. But I think that I can run the risk of running a singleton copy that can potentially help me have have access to my colors in the mid to late game. We also have a couple of copies of Grim Lavamancer, which I forgot to mention there. We don't have that many because our graveyard is a little bit already kind of taxed thanks to Skeletal Scrying, Grim Lavamancer, and then of course Cabal Therapy exiling itself as well. But yeah, we are a Burning Wish deck, so we actually have access to some powerful sorceries in the sideboard. You'll notice that everything has a very specific purpose. We have one copy of Chain Edict, one Haunting Echoes, one Stupor, one Pyroclasm, one Ruination, and one Meltdown. Only 6 sorceries in the sideboard, because I think one of the problems with Wishes is that they promise a lot, right? They, having access to your sideboard cards in game 1 can be really, really powerful, but the problem is that there's a very real cost, which is sometimes these are not the cards that you want to be playing. So very often the powerful cards in your sideboard are the Engineered Plagues, the Smothers, the Withered Wretches, Overloads. Like, these are the cards that actually can be very impactful, and all of these don't work. So what I see very often, like maybe a little bit too often, is that people will have like 11 cards in their Wish target, in their Wish sideboard, have with extremely narrow effects that they're going to wish for like once every like 50 matches or something like that. At that point, like, it's not even worth playing that card, and you just get much more value by playing really powerful cyber cards like the ones that we're playing instead. And even still, like, you will notice that we don't have access to Pyroblast here, which is a fantastic card that we could be playing, but I decided to go for, Overload, Withered Wretch. Like, I feel like these are cards that cover the matchups that I want to cover in a much better way. And I was asking in the Discord earlier today that, I have no cards for Sligh. So I'm really interested in seeing how the Sligh matchup is going to play out. I would imagine that it's going to be heinous for us, but hey, you can only do so much. The only cards that I could think of were Surin Orb and stuff like Spinning Darkness or like Lavadar. Like, those cards are just not great. They're not fantastic even in the matchups that they're supposed to be good for. So I decided to just say, okay, like, whatever, I'll just try to race Sligh and just hope that we get there. Probably very unlikely that's going to happen, but hey, it is what it is. We're going to try to dodge the Sligh matchup. But yeah, I'm excited about this deck. I've been thinking about it for a while and trying to see, because like, having access to a John style deck that actually has reasonable mana is not something that we see every day, and this was kind of the problem with the Dead Guy Ale deck, right? The original DGA. The big problem that it has is that its mana base is just so awful. That's why the playable version of it came into fruition, so into existence, I mean. So yeah, we're gonna see how this works out. I'm excited to give it a shot, and yeah, hopefully we'll do well in this league. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you for the first round. Okay, here we go. Round number 1. This hand looks great. We're gonna keep it. I think I'm gonna go with turn 1 Bloodstained Mire, and then pass the turn back. I don't think I want to be therapying right now. This allows me to play around Wasteland very nicely. Basic Island, go. Okay, let's fetch now. Maybe we're playing Stifle Not. Okay, opponent does not Stifle. So we're gonna play Ravenous Rats. Let's see what they discard. Impulse. Okay, so we could be playing against a bunch of different decks here. Forsaken City. Well, now we know what we're playing against. My opponent may drop a Stasis right here. Yep, they do. Yeah, that's not great. So let's get in there. Like, this is not going to do anything better than getting in there for 1 point of damage. And ship the turn back. This kind of matchup is usually quite bad for us. Not having access to something like Wasteland, obviously, kind of a big deal. As long as we can dodge a Gush, maybe we can be fine. Cabal Therapy is pretty good in this scenario. Chain of Vapor. Okay, there's the card that we want to dodge. So how can we do this? There's Device, Root Maze. Whoa. So I guess I'm going to fetch for a Swamp. Oh, this interstep too? Oh my god. Well, that's brutal. So we're gonna Therapy. We're gonna name Days. Chain of Vapor, Root Maze, and a bunch of islands. So I think this locks us out. Let's flash back to take that Chain of Vapor. Get it while the getting's good, but I think that we're locked out here. On his hand is 2 islands, and now they're playing lands out. That's interesting, because they're going down on cards now. I guess as long as they don't play the very last one, they should be good. Okay, this is not looking good now. I think I'm entirely locked out, so I'm just going to concede. Like, this game is going to go on for a while, but as long as my opponent doesn't mess up, which I doubt they will, nothing's going to happen there. So we can cut our Terminates, we can cut Fire Covenant, and I guess we're going to bring in Wither the Wretches, just because it's a clock, and the Dust Bowl. Overloads. We could cut the Burning Wish for a Stupor. Yeah, I kind of want to cut the wishes. Just bring in Stupor and I guess Haunting Echoes. And we go with this. On the play, sure. We're going to go with the same turn early sequence, but Black Buys. That sounds fine. That's a fine draw. I mean, here my opponent could do the same thing that they did previous game, and that would suck. But it needs to be exactly the city into Stasis. Like, I don't think I can realistically play around that. Rager. So I think we're just going to serve, and I'm gonna play out a Wretch. I think I'm just interested in putting some pressure and getting under the Black Buys. I don't think that exiling their thing does anything, so I just won't. So let's swing for 3. Play a Factory. I think I'm gonna go for... We can go for Stupor. Let's actually go for Rager. I don't think my opponent has a Stasis, at least as of right now. They may find it, of course, but Arcane Denial. Yeah, that's fine. I think I'm gonna draw cards here, because I really need to find... I gotta find, like, Duresses and stuff. Like, I don't think I'm winning this game without drawing some number of Duresses. Yeah, there's a Stasis. So now we're in a healthy amount of trouble. I mean, I guess we can still dodge Gush. So here's a Rat. Guardian Impulse. I feel like Gush is the only card that matters here. We may find Cabal Therapy. Play land. Swing for 1. Send the turn back. They pay for Stasis. Continue hitting land drops. We'd love to find Duress or Cabal Therapy. Lavaborn Muse. Not quite what we're looking for. Forsaken City. That's pretty rough. Lands are good though. No Chain of Vapor. Blue Elemental Blast. We could go for Stupor. It's probably going to get countered. I don't think I want to run into a potential Daze or even worse, a Thwart. I'm just going to chill here. My opponent did miss a land drop last turn. Pitching Counterspell. We are going to start taking damage now though from the Black Buys. Cabal Therapy. That's the card that we were looking for. So we can now name Chain of Vapor, Counterspell, and Hydroblast. Okay. And another Forsaken City. So I think we send the turn back. We're going to Flashback Therapy on the following turn on Counterspell, and then we can Stupor. Oh, they pitched the Counterspell. Interesting. Take 1. We're trying to find a land here. Okay, okay. So now we're going to therapy, sacking a rat. We're gonna name Hydroblast. Because we need to hit a land. We need to hit a card here. And now we can Stupor. This is going to get rid of the last 2 cards. And now it's going to actually cost them. They do already have the Black Vice in play. So what we have to draw now is an Overload and a red source. And if we find that, then we're going to be cooking. So we have gotten ourselves in a situation where we can actually get out of this. We need to get lucky, but we're going to try. Unless they found the gush, of course. So there's a mountain. So now we need to find an Overload before they find the gush. Another land is not bad. Okay, gonna take 1 swamp. So now we can... Oh, I guess that we can get to a point where we resolve Lavaborn Muse and then we just raise the Black Vice. Oh, that's so interesting. That's super interesting. We do still need to dodge that. Well, never mind. Now we're dead. Okay, so let's fetch for a mountain and another mountain, I guess. Let's actually get a swamp. And we're gonna try to draw land so we can play the Lavaborn Muse. One of their cards is a land. Ugh. So now we're gonna be taking 4 this coming turn. Man, such a close game. Such a close game. So this is... Oh, I guess that I'm dead anyway. No, yeah, I just draw a land. Okay, that's not it. Unfortunate, so now I'm dead. Bold the face for good measure, but we're still taking 2 on my upkeep. Alright, that was a really close game, actually. If we had drawn maybe like 1 more Cabal Therapy, I think that it would have been a lot closer. But anyway, that was fun. Second round this time against the one and only Lanny. I think we keep this hand. Island. We're gonna go with... man, such a terrible draw. Let's go with Bolt and send the turn back. No idea what we're up against. We do have 2 islands. So we could be against Growatog. We could be against some sort of mono blue deck. I think I'm gonna Burning Wish. Probably force Stupor. And then ship the turn back. This delays my decision until I have more information. Another island. Well, that's a really good draw. He made it. Oh, this is Storm. Okay, that's cool. So I guess we're gonna take the Merchant Scroll and then Cabal Therapy, the Brain Freezes. So their hand is not great. We know this Bolt is gonna go to the face. Untap. Rager is kind of hot. And I think we're going to Rager first. See what we find. Another Therapy. Sick. Now we're gonna take the Snap. And I guess we could also take the Cloud of Fairies if we wanted to, but I don't think that's even necessary. We can Stupor plus Swing. Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing. Alternatively, I could Lavaborn Muse, but I think I'd rather do this. He did find Meditate. Really good for him. AK was discarded. Oh my god. And an island. Man, these draw 4s are pretty strong. You do get 2 turns there, which is fetch for a swamp. And I'm not going to trigger in this Lavaborn Muse for a minute, but I think it's better to do this and then swing next turn. So he's going to need to do a lot here. I mean, he basically needs to win right now. That was a really good Meditate. So this next turn we can bring him down to 2. So close to dead. Helm of Awakening. Storm 1. I mean, he needs to win right now. Like if he's going for it, he has to win right here. If I untap, I think I'm going to win. Merchant Scroll. I think he agrees. 2 Brain Freezes are gone, however. So that's good for me. But now he has gone down to 2 cards. Or like potentially down to 2 when I have 2 therapies in the graveyard. So I can assemble lethal. Thanks to the Lavaborn Muse. Yep, he does go for the Meditate. So now he's just dead. Because I'm going to have 2 turns and that's going to be enough to... Another Cloud of Fairies. This is exciting. Storm 5. This is 18 cards that he would mill. Merchant Scrolls. So I guess he can go get a Snap to bounce his Cloud of Fairies and have some more mana. That's exactly what he does. He needs to win right now. So this is going to bring him up to 3 mana. Of course, Helm of Awakening changes that math a little bit, but oh, he packs it in. All right, couldn't find it. All right, we did draw much more disruption this game than we did in the previous one. This is, however, like a pretty similar situation where our sideboard is not super well prepared. So cut these Terminates, Fire Covenant, Haunting Echoes can come in, Meltdown probably come in, Cutting the Wishes, trying to be more mana efficient. And I guess we're going to bring in the Wretches. It's just a vanilla 2/2. I think this looks fine. And I said in the beginning how I chose not to put Pyroclasms, Pyroblasts, sorry, in my sideboard, and like we get paired against 2 mono blue decks back to back, so we got a little bit punished there maybe. Maybe this Dust Bowl should be a Pyroblast, maybe, I don't know. maybe the Smother should be a Pyroblast. I could actually see the Smother being a Pyroblast. So if we cut -1 Dust Bowl, -1 Smother, that means we can get one of each Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast. Maybe that would be pretty good. What do we got here? Cabal Therapy. Yeah, okay, I can keep this. It's interesting whether we want to go turn 1 Factory to like put on the pressure quickly, but I think I'm just going to go for Therapy. Lets us know what my opponent's cooking with. Basic Island and multi-6. Yeah, well, now we're definitely doing this. So let's go, and we're going to name Helm of Awakening, I think it's the card. We could just name Sapphire Medallion. Let's name, let's actually, yeah, because I'd rather just, it's, in terms of percentages, is the same likelihood that he has a Medallion or Helm in hand, and I'd rather, like, if he plays Helm, is like better for me than the Medallion. He's got nothing. Okay, so ship the turn back, and I guess we're gonna go for Rats into Flashback Therapy. This means he gets to discard the AK to the Rats and then draw 2, which is really annoying, but it is what it is. Yeah, so he AKs in response, and now we're just going to name Meditate. He found the Medallion. Brutal. There's the Medallion, probably holding on to the Lotus Petal. He could just Merchant Scroll for another AK. I think that's what I would do. Place the Petal and Scrolls. Yep, just to draw 3. Okay, it's not terrible. I guess that we drew the rest, so we're just gonna leave with that. Double Meditate and Medallion. Ugh. Yeah, okay. I think I still need to take the Meditate. We can go for the Factory, swing for 2. We can potentially draw Overload next turn. That would be nice. Second Medallion is in play. Hey, look at that. So let's go with the Rager. Not bad. Scatheless Crying is not bad. And I guess I'm going to Overload now, because I don't want to feed his Storm for next turn. He can Meditate right now, in which case I just get another turn. Honestly, maybe worth it. We untap Bloodstained Mire. I guess I'm going to get a Swamp, and we can Scrying for 3. Or I could Rager. I think I want to Scrying for 3 and open myself up to finding either another Overload or a discard spell. Almost. So he's going to get to untap now, which is pretty bad for me. With 6 cards, he's actually kind of likely to be able to win. Back to basics. It's not bad. Not half bad. Get in there, Rager boy. So now we have to really value our untapped lands. So let's go for Rager, and I guess I'm going to try to Echo next turn. Not great. Flash of Insight. Also kind of brutal that it effectively counters my Haunting Echoes. Yikes. So now as long as they have blue up, I cannot cast this Haunting Echoes. Ugh. Devastating. Yeah, not having access to Pyroblast, kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal. He ships it back. I'm gonna swing for 2, I guess 4. And I guess we're gonna play a Lavaborn Muse, which is probably gonna get snapped, but not that we can do much better anyway. Flashing back the Flash of Insight for X equals 4, leaving the AKs. And I would imagine that I'm dead here. Man, that Flash of Insight was brutal. I think that if we had been able to resolve this one, we would have won, because I could have just taken all of his card draw. Flash of Insight just came at the best possible time. Frantic Search. Let's get this party started. Discarding 2 islands. Cycle Cloud of Fairies. We do have this stupid Lightning Bolt in our hand, which we can cast. Okay, the Muse does get with the snap. Cloud of Fairies gets AK. Storm 6. Lotus Petal. Snap. Oh, we're gonna Bolt in response. Like, this is going to feed the Storm, but okay, so he's got it. I imagine that I'm dead now. This is 11 Storm, 12, and 13 should be enough for Brain Freeze kill. Yeah, okay. Any changes? Not really. I think we just submit. Yeah, if I had Pyroblast, that also means that I can leave in the Burning Wishes, probably. Beaten by 2 blue enchantments, which I could potentially deal with with Pyroblast. Feels bad, man. Game number 3. This hand's not gonna do it. This hand I do like. So let's keep this. I think I'm bottoming the Echoes. I guess I could bottom the Overload. Let's actually do that. Let's do rest and take the Helm. Although actually we could have just kept the Helm and then used that to help us cast our Echoes. That's nice. That's actually kind of insane. Let's go Ravenous Rats, being in a Frantic Search, which makes sense. Second land and say go. Not bad, not bad. So let's fetch here for a mountain. Swing with Factory. Cycle. It's a weird timing for the cycle. Don't think I like it. So let's Therapy, naming Meditate now. And it's actually kind of brutal. Do I just name Cloud of Fairies so he can't cycle? I'm definitely not discarding the deep analysis. I think I just passed the turn actually. But it's possible that I should just be naming Cloud of Fairies. Place the Lotus Petal ×2. Just going to... Man, that's an expensive deep analysis right there. He did find the land drop though. Did find a land. So let's swing for 1. I think I'm going to flashback naming Frantic Search. And then I'm going to scrying for 3 on end step. If he does deep analysis this turn, that means that he doesn't back to basics. Helm. Pretty good draw. That's a pretty great draw right there. Okay, he does go for the Merchant Scroll. I imagine getting... Oh, Flash of Insight. So... Oh, because this is making it cheaper. That makes sense. So now X is equals 3. We did find the Overload. Great. Play well, get rewarded, etc, etc. Yeah, I think we're going for this. So we get rid of all the Meditates, we get rid of all the Merchant Scrolls. Well, there's only 1 back to basics. So now he only has 2 Hydrolasts, 3 Brain Freezes. 3... He top decks the 1 of back to basics. Okay. You got it. Not bad. He top decks exactly the 1 off. Alright, Muse, do your thing. Please do your thing. Pretty please. It's not great, but I mean, this lady is getting in there. AK. He's drawing remarkably well. He's drawing remarkably well. Like that back to basics off the top is pretty devastating. My best draw would be another Skeletal Scrying. Stupor would also be fantastic. We do have to dodge those Hydroblasts. Duress would be great. That's one of the cards that I said would be pretty good. This is going to really speed up the clock. So now he's dead next turn. Or he may be forced to like flashing. Oh, I guess he can just flash back. Flash of Insight for X equals like 1 or 2. And that can help him find one of the 2 Hydroblasts. That does put him down a card, which is kind of a big deal right here. Discarded the Brain Freeze. We need to dodge the Accumulated Knowledge. That's what we need to dodge. Huh, he had the Sapphire Medallion and didn't use it. Did he read me for Overload? That's crazy. When there's not much play that I have here. This is just kind of what it is. He is short on mana. This is close. This is really, really close. This back to basics is doing a lot of work. If I had access to this Mishra's Factory, I would have won. That's not great. Gotta draw something here. Goes down to 1. Surprised he's not cycling the Cloud of Fairies. I guess that he's afraid that he doesn't have enough mana. He may be short on mana. But he really needs to find the Hydroblast. Yeah, now he's in a situation where he's forced to cycle. Woof! Alright, got there. What a crazy game. He had triple Sapphire Medallion. That's funny. Round number 3. Let's see what we got. Yeah, this hand looks good. Skip this. Turn 1 Duress. Turn 2 more Duress. Got some rats going on too. Yeah, this is sick. If we ever find a red source, maybe we're gonna be onto something. Already keeps 7. Let's see what he's cooking with. Tangled Wire, Savos Web. Guess. Ooh, is this? Ooh, oh yeah. Hell yeah. This is just freaking Welder. This is Survival Welder. Hell yeah. This deck's great. I guess I want to do rest here instead of rats. We take the wire. And the idea for doing that there is that I'm not super scared of Welder anyway, because he doesn't have anything to, kind of annoying, he doesn't actually have anything to, an artifact in play. So this is interesting, because we can rats here, but the rats are going to die to the sharpshooter. So I think I'm actually going to, is that a problem? Maybe that doesn't even matter. He can take my rats. Like I would rather just have a red source. Like I kind of really want to draw a red source. But if I hold on to the rats for next turn, I may find the red source and I can bolt this before the rats comes down. I don't think I care about the rats. I think this is fine. I'd rather just wait a turn. Just make sure that I get value from him discarding a card. Discards the Carplucent Forest, sends the turn back. Sabo's Web number 2 would be kind of a disaster here. Sharpshooter shoots down the rats, makes sense. We're going to scrying for 1. If we find the red source, terminate number 2. Yeah, it's not so great. This is gonna be okay until, well, it's not okay anymore. I was just about to say it's gonna be okay until he finds survival. He did. So now I think this is going to be over. Goes for Anger. And Sligh. He should have gone for Sligh first. Okay, I think I'm just going to concede here. I'm way too far behind. I can never beat the survival. So I might as well just pack it in and go on to the next game. So these are good. I like these. Pyroclasm sounds great. I think I'm going to cut down on the duresses. I do still like the therapies. Terminates are great. Fire Covenant's gonna be fantastic. Lavaborn Muse is how I win. I think I want Overload. So these are the cards I'm interested in. I guess let's cut down a therapy and the duress, and I guess it's got one overload and maybe the rats. This looks fine. Having access to something like Dystopia could be interesting, because I think I'm going to really struggle to beat the Resolve Survival regardless. Although I guess that if I have access to Raider the Wretch, I'll be okay. Wretch getting rid of the annoying thingy is probably going to be great. I guess I'd rather have Duresses over Rats to get rid of. Yeah, maybe I think I actually do like Duresses better. Obviously, if I cut Rats, my therapies become worse, but like I still have some therapy fodder. Not sure if I want Engineered Plague. I don't think I do. Having played a little bit of Survival Welder myself, I never cared too much when my opponent had therapies against me. I think I'm not going to duress on one, actually, because I think I'm probably not going to be terminating a bird on 2, and I also don't think that I want to be... If I duress on 1, then... Okay, he moved to 5. So anything that I care about duressing is going to come down on turn 2, that's the thing. So I think I'm just going to skip the turn. This gives me one more look at being able to... It gives my opponent one more draw step to find a card that I care about duressing, like that. There goes the survival, and I'm going to play out the mountain. The reason for this is if my opponent goes for the wire on turn 2, then I get to terminate a creature. Okay, just gonna play Red the Wretch here, send the turn back. So even if he plays the wire, like just fine. There's the wire, and let's eat survival on end step. And now my epic, I get to terminate something. I think I want to terminate the bird here, especially since I have 3 copies of terminate. So let's eat the bird and play a land and say go. So this right here is pretty good for me. Like he's just like we're just spinning our wheels, but he's not really getting any value from this tangled wire. There's Welder. I guess I have access to the Wither the Wretch, so there's no reason for me to kill the Welder. Tap 3 things. Oh, we get to play another Wretch. Let's go. Yeah, he's just doing nothing. Untap. Tap 2 things. That's very nice. So now we get to start attacking. He can't even do anything about this. He's missing land drops, so I think that if he doesn't do anything, I'm just going to maybe terminate the Llanowar Elf on end step. Anger. Yeah, so he's clearly struggling here. So we're gonna terminate the Anger just to be more mana efficient and eat it. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Going to tap the... I guess we're gonna tap a Swamp here. Sulphurous Springs. Let's bolt the Wall of Roots. And I guess we swing for 6. I could terminate the Llanowar here. I think I want to do that. Maybe I shouldn't have attack with the Factory. Maybe it's worth it to save some Wretch mana. But I don't think I can get punished. He swings with the Welder. Interesting. Well, here we go. Swing for 6. Once again, I think I'm going to terminate the Fyndhorn Elves and just ship the turn back. So now we have double activation to not care that the wire's there. So he does play the Masticore. In response, I'm going to exile the wire because like he has no cards in hand. So by exiling the wire in response, like this Masticore is now going to die on his upkeep. He can take 1 with a Wretch, which I think it's acceptable because it taps him out for the turn. So I think what I'm going to do here is just pass the turn, just let the Masticore die, and that taps him out, and then we should be good. Yeah, so Masticore kills a Wretch. Still have another one. He's going to be chump blocking with the Welder. We get to eat his entire graveyard. Might as well fetch. And now we get nice little attack. And he can't both find a land and the Deranged Hermit, so, which is, I think, the only way he can stabilize from here. So this should be locked up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, game 3. Any changes? So one thing I could do actually, which is kind of interesting. So I could cut the wishes and instead of that bring in 3 plagues and a pyroclasm, which is a really interesting thought. No, I don't think that's better. I don't love this duress though. Don't love the discard spell number 6. Is this better or worse than Engineered Plague? That's a very, very tricky question. Nah, probably duress is better. Maybe therapy better than duress. I don't know, it's tricky. Huh. This is really interesting because we have a Lavamancer, but we don't have any food for it. I think I'm gonna ship this. I do like this better. Let's keep this. I think we bottom the Overload. Okay, that's cool. Not great. Don't love it. Sylvan Library. That's a heck of a card. Okay, so let's go get a red source, and we're going to wish, I think, for Pyroclasm. We could wish for Stupor. Yeah, let's wish for Stupor. So the idea behind this, like, we still have access to Pyroclasm on the following turn. That's why I fetch for a second red source. This allows me to, like, wish and Pyroclasm in the same turn. He only draws for 4. That's survival. Pretty bad for us. That really limits the effect of the Stupor. because he can just discard Sligh to it, which is just free value. I'm still gonna cast it, I guess, because I wanna Skeletal Scrying. So now Stupor is effectively going to discard only a single card, and then he's going to discard the Sligh. I really need to find... I have very little time to find the Withered Wretch. I need to find one of my 3 wretches. So I'm going to take the next turn off to draw 3. Draws 4. That sucks. This means I only get to draw 2, so I think I just get time walked. Okay, going to Cabal Therapy. Oh, interesting. I guess he's going to go get Anger. I do think I discard the Anger. Like, it's still a card out of the survival, so I think that this is fine. Oh, interesting. Pyrokinesis. So my goal here is going to be to try to set up Haunting Echoes. Now we are going to draw 3 on upkeep. Kind of surprised he didn't play the Birds of Paradise last turn. Ooh, he draws with Library. There's the birds. I don't think I love doing that main phase. He could have gotten Quirion. Quirion would have been a better thing than playing out the bird. That would allow him to do both things. Oh, Cradle. I guess that's a good reason. Pitching Masticore. Gets another bop. Yeah, I think we're just going to Scrying for 3. That's a big one. And I guess I Lightning Bolt one of these birdies. He doesn't have a mountain, notably. This library is burying me. It is pretty rough. Ah, there's the mountain. Okay, now I'm in a lot of trouble. He can go get Trike. Huh, interesting. Oh, because he's gonna go get Welder. Okay, that makes sense. So I have to tap 2 things. Welder is going to destroy me. Yeah, this is really rough. So I guess we're going to Therapy again. I'm gonna name Pyrokinesis. Last card is a Survival. And ship the turn back. Yeah, I really need to find something good here. Because now he can pitch the Welder to Survival to go find... To pitch the Sligh to Survival, find Welder, and then throw the Tangle Wire into the trash to go find... To put the Masticore into play. I really need to find a Withered Wretch in time. This Fire Covenant in the face of Trike is not great. I do feel like I would have gone for Deranged Hermit last turn. It was even more damage. Man, I love this deck. Survival Welder is so much fun. Whoa, he goes for Genesis. So if I terminate Trike, I take 7 down to 4. So I have this turn. This is the turn. If I do find Withered Wretch, we are in this. If I find Withered Wretch here, we actually have a chance at winning, which is honestly kind of crazy to think. It's not it. Ugh. Yeah, that's not it. That's that. Unfortunate, super close game. But obviously, like, this deck really struggles against a turn 2 Sylvan Library. Well played, Artie. Round number 4, actually. I guess I'm gonna keep this hand. Looks decent enough. I think I want to start on Bloodstained Liar. Would love to have a Duress. It's okay. Basic Plane. Hey, look at that. Exactly 1 turn too late. I'm still gonna Rats here, because next turn I can terminate plus Duress. Duress was discarded. Maybe you should have Duress. Oh yeah, I think I'm getting paired against Dead Gael, and Dead Gael doing Dead Gael things and having bad mana. Oh, this is actually PDGA. It's a lot worse for me. So I don't care about Decree, so I'll just take the 2-for-1 in Jura's Verdict. Yeah, Eternal Dragon's gonna destroy me. I guess I need to find something good here. At least we do have the Fire Covenant to limit the effect of Decree. I'm gonna Scrying for 2. Maybe we can find another discard spell. No, that kind of sucks. So I don't think I want to expose the Lavaborn Muse. The problem is, like, this Eternal Dragon is going to annihilate me. So I'm just gonna pass the turn and be very sad that I drew a bunch of removal spells that are dead. Opponent continues drawing lands, which is my nightmare. I continue drawing lands, which is my other nightmare. There's the Decree. I'm just gonna Covenant here. Keep on keeping on. Man, drawing all of these removal spells against the... This is an awful situation. This actually gives me a target for this Terminate. I know that I could bolt it, but like this bolt could just go face. So we get rid of the Angel. Jesus. We need to find our other Scrying really quickly. My opponent's gonna start to do Eternal Dragon things now. Oh, they don't get the dragon back. I'll just bolt their face. Cash in the 3 damage. It's fetch for a black source. And draw a mountain. Yikes. Big yikes. I'm still gonna play it out because like my best draw is Scryings, and I want to make sure that I can Scryings for the max amount. Oh, they found another Decree. Oh, this is a disaster. Yeah, I'm super dead here. My opponent can just plow the Lavaborn if they even care about doing it. And then Exalted Angel is gonna do the rest. Maybe I can Burning Wish. Oh, well, there we go. Yeah, this is it. Just draw 7. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Let's lead on Cabal Therapy. Okay, they didn't do anything, so I'm just gonna name Eternal Dragon. Actually, no, let's name Wrath. Name Wrath of God. Then we're going to Ravenous Rats. They ditch Vindicate. Let's play the Lavaborn Muse. Let's play the Grim. And I'm going to Flashback Therapy. Naming Decree. Oh, they cycle Decree. Okay, just gonna name Eternal Dragon. So now they take 3. Wow, I can't believe I may actually get there here. I mean, it was about that. It was all about that Skeletal Scrying. Turns out when you just out of nowhere just casually draw 7, you may be able to keep up. Therapy. Okay, so I'm just going to Therapy first. Opponent cycles Dragon. And I think the only card I care about is specifically Swords to Plowshares. Okay, 2 planes. So play second Lavaborn Muse. And I guess I might as well play a Rager. Play Swamp. Swing for 3. Gonna chump block with the Soldier. But unlike the Rack, this, like, my opponent cannot play around this. Like, these triggers are already on the stack, so even if he gets the dragons back, these triggers are already there. And now we finish it off with the Lavamancer. Wow, that was a timely Skeletal Scrying. I'm going to say as much. So Dust Bowl, great. Widow Wretch, Engineer Plague. I don't think I care about these Lightning Bolts. And I guess I'm gonna Plagues are just better than Fire Covenant. And I still already have Terminate for their thingies. They're like big dudes, which I do respect. Wow, I'm still kind of in awe that I managed to pull that one off. Like, this is a heck of a card, gentlemen. This is a hell of a card. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut the Terminate. We still have 3 answers to an Angel. I mean, that's actually pretty low. Cut a Lava Man. Maybe I should be cutting a land instead. But my mana base is already sketchy as is, so okay, let's keep this. Opponent also keeps 7. Once again, leading on basic planes. Cabal Therapy, and we're going to name, I think, Eternal Dragon. We got the hit. The idea was to like slow down their development. JR's Verdict. We're gonna discard, I guess, Plague and Terminate. I think we're gonna go get Stupor. Play the planes. JR's Verdict. Wow. Yeah, that second one was brutal. I'm still going to just try to play a low resource game here. One has got 1 remaining card, which I don't know of. Duress. That's good for me. Oh, their last card is Eternal Dragon. That sucks. Still gonna play out the Rat. It's not great, but they found the land. Okay, now we are in a lot of trouble. Now they're going to start to do Eternal Dragon things and I can't punish them. Well, I guess I can. I can still like Therapy for Dragon, where they're drawing cards for free. I'm not drawing well. I don't think I'm supposed to name Swords to Plowshares yet. Collecting Pool. Ugh, vomit. That sucks. So I guess I just passed the turn. Cycle Dragon. Get a Plains. Fire Exit Furnace? Oh my god. Scrying. 1 time. Kettle Scrying, I summon you. Can we draw another one like we did the previous game? Kettle Scrying FTW. Wither Wretch would also be a pretty decent draw. Okay. Good for me that they drew an Angel because I already have the answer. And that was a turn where they did not get back Dragon. Can I get a Wither Wretch off the top? 1 time. So we know one of their 2 cards is a Swords to Plowshares. Cool. So they use it. The bad part about that is that it kind of suggests that they do have another Swords to Plowshares. Oh, they're scrying for a bunch. So I just have to raise now, which I'm not particularly well equipped to do. They pitch Vindicate. Yikes. Like, yeah, don't care about your Lavaborn Muse. That's fine. You can have it. Ugh. No Skeletal Scrying. Only card that matters right here. Things are getting a little bit out of hand. Just a tiny bit out of hand. Oof. Brutal. Seen enough. Let's go to game number 3. Maybe Covenant is better than Plague. Yeah, that's fine. This is not it. Okay, this is better. Guess we're gonna bottom the Lavamancer. So Duress on 1. Let's see what we got. Opposing Duress. Then we can Therapy for Scrying. It's a very sad draw. We're gonna go for the Factory. So Cabal Therapy. We're gonna name Skeletal Scrying. Ugh, they found Verdict. Oh, that's devastating. Well, we're gonna hold on to this Wither Wretch for dear life. Okay. Play it out. Can we dodge a removal spell? Alright, we're definitely gonna go after the graveyard because of future scryings. We're trying to get as aggressive as possible here. Okay, opponent does cycle the dragon. Gonna eat it right now. Furnace. They get down to it real quick. So let's fetch, I think, for another... Let's actually get a red source, I guess. No, let's actually get a second black source. I think it's gonna be more important. And do I play around Wrath? I think so. I mean, I guess I can play around Wrath, or I can play around like a single removal spell. I think I'm gonna not play around Wrath. If he has Wrath, I effectively lose the game, but if my opponent draws a Dust Bolt or something like that, like it's such a disaster. So I think I need to try to push my advantage as quickly as I can. Okay, another dragon gets exiled, and I'm just going to eat their stuff. Once again, trying to minimize the impact of another potential Skeletal Scrying. My opponent could just land an Exalted Angel, and then we're in extremely bad shape. Okay, we do have an answer. Swing and eat your graveyard. Kind of a little bit of dysynergy here between these and the Haunting Echoes. There's the Angel, but luckily for me, I have Fire Covenant instead of Engineered Plague. Deal 5. 1, 2, 3. Opponent down to 1. And I think the Lavaborn Muse in my hand locks this one up now. Crazy. What a crazy game. Woo! That was exciting. Wrath of God. One turn too late, my friend. Wow, what a crazy match. I can't believe we got there. Hey, hell yeah. Shout out to Fire Covenant for being sick. On the draw in this match number 5. Hand is obviously not good. It sounds better. I think I'll keep this, and I guess I'm going to bottom one of these wishes. Obviously, if we're playing against the matchup where Terminate sucks, I'm going to be sad that I kept it, but okay. Not sure what we're up against just yet. Carplusum Forest, Grim Lavamancer. Take 1. Mongrel. Okay, I guess we're playing against some sort of red-green aggro deck. I think I'm going to terminate right now. I don't want to be facing an Arrogant Worm. This Cabal Therapy is not looking super sexy. Now this Lavamancer is online. Rancor? Alright, that is happening right now. Library. My nemesis. I love you, but you beat me. Factory. Rager. We're playing something here at least. Obviously I'm going to attempt to block this Grim Lava boy. But my opponent can just shoot my Rager down. Not too much value to wish for besides Pyroclasm. I guess potentially Stupor. Opponent drew 2, down to 9. Call of the Herd. Woof. Pretty good. Yeah, we're blocking and I can name Rancor with this therapy. Dress you, take the Rancor, Cabal Therapy, name Incinerate, and I guess I'm going to pass the turn. Gonna take 3 this turn. Factory, hopefully gonna be doing some blocking. I don't think I can realistically play around a Lightning Bolt. I'm going to attempt to block anyway. Okay, so opponent's got the Bolt, but that Bolt was going to go to Lavaborn Muse, and now they effectively time block themselves. They cannot flash back the Call of the Herd, so that's a pretty fine exchange for me. So now they're going to take 3 on their upkeep, and I may be able to raise them back. So they need to find an answer to this Lavaborn Muse right now. Needs to be exactly this turn, because next turn I can just bolt them. Super interesting deck by my opponent. It's like a red-green aggressive deck, like but aggro mid-range, which I guess is kind of neat because you get access to Call of the Herd and Rancor instead of some other silly cards that like Sligh plays Shock and cards like that. So instead of having to play that, you get to just play all the good burn spells in Bolt, Incinerate, and then just play to the board with Call of the Herd and Wild Mongrel. So you have kind of like a burn angle, and you also have kind of a non-burn angle. Yeah, we're not gonna block here. Flashback Call of the Herd, and I think that means we win. So Bold Face, and I'm not gonna show my opponent Burning Wish. Incinerate! Wow! I mean, I was dead to that anyway, right? But wow, yeah, I lose now. Ha, that's crazy. Wow, I love that. I was not expecting them to have access to Fire Blast. Like, it can't be more than a one-off, right? Like, I really doubt that they can afford to play more than a one-off Fire Blast. So I do like Wretches, Smother, and I think that's it. Wish can help me find either Edict or Pyroclasm. Let's cut 1, maybe 2 Duresses. No, I actually have a lot of targets for Duress. Got a Rager, Terminates are fine, Wretches are fine. Yeah, let's do maybe 1 Skeletal Scrying. Let's do like this. Man, that's kind of a sick deck that my opponent's playing. Kind of love it. This opener's pretty dope. Pretty great opener here. Opponent moves to 6. By the way, one more time where Library just claims another victim. Library just soloed me that game. Mountain into Lava Man. Going to Therapy. Name Grim Lavamancer. Curse Scroll. That's a card that could get me if I don't hurry up. Windswept Heath. Is that just to fuel Lava Man? Seems iffy. Interesting. They just face me. Here's a Rager. Here we go. Play out Carplusum Forest. Reaver Boa. Well, it's not expecting that one, I'll tell you that much. So let's play a fetch land so that I can scrying for 3. 3 mana to scroll. Okay, so I guess opponent's hand is 2 forests. Let's get a mountain and scrying for 3. Double terminate. So we could go get Pyroclasm, which would be pretty clean. What else can we wish for? Can wish for Meltdown. I may actually have to do that. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna send the turn back. We're gonna do some terminating this turn. Some damage control. So smother the treetop, terminate the Voa. Take 1. Monk Fanatic. Ugh. So let's terminate Lava Man. And I do guess that we're going to Burning Wish for Meltdown. It's not feel great. It's not feel great. If I had access to 1 more mana, I would have rather like Fire Covenant to get rid of the 2 X1s. Yeah, we gotta draw something here very quickly. I'm just gonna do this for 1. Like I have to do it. Like I don't think I can take any damage from this, and this saves the terminate for another bigger threat. Ugh. Okay, at least that's a card. But now Skeletal Scrying is a bad draw. Yeah, we're just really bad shape. Like there's no way I'm winning this race. I'm kind of really into my opponent's deck. It's doing some cool stuff. I'm gonna kill the Mongrel here, and instead like this is gonna need to happen, and this may allow me to do some other stuff. Okay, send the turn back. Threading by a needle here. Dude, I can't believe my opponent had the Fire Blast last game. That's kind of insane. Oh, this is brutal too. Like I can't take that hit. I think my opponent had the Rancor a couple of turns ago and they just chose not to go for it. That's something. That is something. Okay, so don't know what my opponent could have here, but we're going to do some exiling. I'm also not going to play around any haste threats because we have to erase. At least if they have Terrorvore, we have that covered. Exile that, untap, removal spell, wish. What can we wish for? Wish for Ruination, blow up my own Mishra's Factory. Probably not it. We can wish for Stupor, I guess. I guess it's the best thing we can do. It is the best thing we can do. Maybe we should instead be holding onto the wish so that we have access to Pyroclasm down the line. That may be a better thing to do. Lightning Bolt, my dude. Okay. Okay, so that was not the worst. So now my factory checks the treetop. If my opponent's got an answer to the factory, obviously I'm dead. Lock and pump. Take the trade. Untap, something good. Okay, I'll take that. Oh my god. This is so... this is so close. I guess my best draw would be another Muse. Muse is my best draw. Hey, let's serve. There's 2. And hold. Opponent down to 5. And this is a lethal attack. This is a lethal attack. Is it good enough? Ah, man. Play out the springs and ship the turn back. Opponent down to 3. Lightning bolt off the top. Oh my god. No call of the herd. Okay, so this is gonna feel like I'm slow rolling my opponent, but this is just correct. Yeah, exactly. My opponent could have multiple burn spells, so by doing so, I'm playing around my opponent doing something in response. So it's actually just tight play. It may look like it is slow rolling, but trust me, it's not. So I'm actually gonna cut the Fire Covenant for actually I do like Dust Bowl now that I know my opponent's got like, although I guess did I see the treetops? I don't remember. The wishes are kind of iffy. Actually, Skeletal Scrying, I don't think, like, my opponent's a lot more aggressive than I think it is. So I'm gonna cut the Scryings for, I guess, another Duress. Like, I literally don't think I can afford to cast Skeletal Scrying and Fire Covenant. Okay, I guess we keep here. This is gonna be painful, but wow, it's a lot of muses. Oh my god, yeah, my opponent's super aggressive. So I guess we're raising. Carplucent Forest and Imagine the Boa. Removal spell would be great. I don't think I'm Burning Wishing here. I don't think I can afford to take that damage. Is my opponent gonna go for the Vortex? Yes, they are. Alright. They're super far away from casting that Fire Blast. So at least we got that going on for us. So, name Green Lavamancer. Ugh, Bolt. So I think I'm actually gonna go for a Ruination here. Because I'm gonna get destroyed by this Treetop Village otherwise. Mountain number 1. I need to draw... Basically, I need to draw runner basics if I'm going to win this game. Yeah, that's not it. I do think I need to... I think I'm just gonna die here. We had a plan. And we have a lot of lands. 25? Oh, they found Call of the Herd? Devastating. Oh, man. Just dead. Oh, man. that was so rough. Gonna die on my upkeep now. This game was so close. Yeah, we were like punished by the damage, the only black source being Sulphurous Springs, and then obviously just not finding the land in time. I feel like this game could have been really close, but this Sulphuric Vortex, like, my opponent's deck is really cool. I'm really into it. I'm not loving the River Boa. Like, this is the one card that I'm just like, wait, what? I'm a little bit skeptical about this one, but everything else that they have going on, really, really cool. I'm definitely going to be trying that deck out. Last round, this hand looks very clean. Let's keep it. Turn 1, do rest. We have some removal spells. We have Lavaborn Muse. Opponent also keeping 7. Let's see what they're cooking with. Ugh. Yeah, this is rough. I mean, let's take the most mana efficient one, I guess. This is the matchup that I did not want to face. This matchup is probably very bad for us. I'm gonna need some good stuff here. I'm gonna need to draw some runner discard spells and stuff like that. Okay, at least we got that going on for us. Opponent chose to go for Lavamancer. If they continue drawing creatures, that will be good for us. Okay, so let's terminate now. Get rid of the Lavaman. And any removal spell is the same against all of my opponent's creatures, so obviously I'd rather hold on to the most mana efficient one. It also gives my opponent one more turn to potentially draw like their second Fire Blast or whatever. Jackal Pup. It's a good draw for them. So now we can bolt the Pup. Best draw would be, I guess, another Lightning Bolt. Seal of Fire enters play. Fire Covenant is a really interesting pickup. I guess we're gonna be doing that. Best thing that could happen is my opponent draws a land and goes for Bolt Lightning. Obviously, I don't think I can afford to take any damage, so I'm just going to deal 1 to the Pup. I could deal 18 to them and then just die to the Seal of Fire, but it's just funny that it's something that could have happened. Curse Scroll. Factory is not bad, so let's do this. And I think I'm naming Incinerate. So their hand is Bolt Lightning and Fire Blast, but I'm at 18. And if he wants to Curse Scroll, so best thing that can happen here, if my opponent goes for the Bolt Lightning and I just get to cash in my Lightning Bolt, and then I untap and I play Lavaborn Muse, that would be fantastic for me. Perfect. We go for the Bolt Lightning, we get to cash in the Lightning Bolt. We know their last card in hand is a Fire Blast. Oh my god, hell yeah. Ravenous Rats. So now they need to sack 2 lands if they want to deal 4. So now they're entirely out of cards. I could serve with the Factory, but I don't think I'm going to because my opponent can just crack the Seal of Fire. Yeah, punished. Guess would have been great to do that, huh? So now what they can do is they can double up on the Lavaborn Muse, but that's probably still worth it. I imagine that they're going to kill the Muse here. And this Curse Scroll is just... Yeah, if I had... Oh, they go face? I guess they just want to bolt the Muse, because I mean they can't raise the Muse as is, so they're gonna be taking 3 from it at least. Play out the Pup. Okay, so I guess they want to like block. This seems pretty good for me. Yeah, that Lavaborn Muse off the top was great draw. I mean, if they block with the Pup, they still take 3, so I think my opponent should have just Seal of Fired on my end step there. Now they've taken 6 and killed the Pup. They still take 3. Now I play a second Muse, and we are in insane shape now. Still chilling at 16. I think that was a potentially game-losing mistake from my opponent. They really needed to like use that Seal of Fire to plus Curse Scroll on that 1 turn to get rid of my Muse. That 6 damage life swing was kind of a really big deal. Huh. So I think I want to... I guess let's scrying for 2. Draw 2 cards. And yeah, okay, I'm just gonna swing with these 2 guys. I imagine they're gonna bolt the Muse. I get to drop a Rager, Fire Blast the Muse, and then activate Curse Scroll on the... Yeah, I think I'm good to go now. With 1 single land, I don't think my opponent can win anymore. Play the Rager, ship the turn back. Opponent can use Seal of Fire to kill the Rager. Factory, get in there. I imagine they're gonna kill my Rager. Or they kill the Factory. I would have thought that it's better to kill the Rager there, because the Rager doesn't require mana to deal damage, while the Factory does. Get in there, boys. Alright. The little rat that could. The little rat that could. Barbering. Are they gonna have to use a Barbering on my rat? I mean, I don't have any more, so I am officially out of gas. Oh, don't tell me that my opponent's gonna come back in this game. Don't tell me they're gonna come back in this game, man. You can't do this to me, deck. Just give me a Bolt, give me a Muse. Just give me something that I can use. You see that rhyme? You're welcome. Oh my god, they're gonna go to 1? Oh my god. Oh my god. I guess I have to blind name. So I guess I would name Incinerate, because they are already down 2 bolts, 2 fire blast. If they had a creature, I think they may have played it. So I think I'm gonna name Incinerate, Jackal Pup. So I can't force my opponent to go to 1. They do get to deal me 2, however. Fantastic. Terminate. So now they are dead. Opponent sucks in response, but it doesn't matter. And this is gonna leave my opponent with no lands. Woof, that was close. Well, we got there game 1. I don't think that I want Burning Wishes. They just seem too slow. Same thing with Covenant. I do like Smother, I do like Stupor. Maybe Overloads, potentially Withered Wretch, just as a beater. Cut the Scryings. Maybe Stupor is just bad, too slow. I guess I do want Pyroclasm on the draw, and then I can cut it on the play. Do we want Chain Arctic? Probably not. And I don't think I want Meltdown either. Okay, let's go with this. So we're hoping for a hand with a bunch of discard spells. We're talking Duresses, Rats, Therapies, and then some removal spells as well. Preferably Lightning Bolt. Bolt is my best removal spell. Man, I'm kind of eyeing that Stupor in there. Let's do that. Is Wretch better than Rager? Maybe a little bit. Okay, it was not fast enough. On the play, I like Rager better, but on the draw, 3 mana seems like a lot for a bear. This is kind of painful. I think I'm gonna mulligan. This seems better. So keep this. Bottom a Swamp. Yeah. There's an argument for bottoming the Factory or the Mire, but Mire is how I plan to potentially deal with my opponent plays a creature here, so never mind. Oh, well, there you go. So let's go Duress to kick things off. Take Incinerate. If my opponent goes Mog into Fire Blast, can we please top deck a Pyroclasm? I think that would be cool. Lavaman into Mog. Take 1. So let's Duress. My opponent thinking of cashing in the Fire Blast? Maybe. If their last card is a land, it's actually interesting to cash in the Fire Blast right now. They don't. Gonna bolt one of these Lavaman. Play the Mountain. Take 1. Pyroclasm's probably my best draw here. Yeah, it very much is. Not quite. We do have Factory at least. We cannot use it to block this turn, but we can use it to block next turn. The reason we can't use it to block is my opponent can just Grimlavamancer it away. Seal of Fire. That's even worse. So I imagine they're just gonna attack with the Lavaman. I mean, we can just top deck Pyroclasm and we can just be good to go. This is fine. We're gonna take 2. Untap. Not a good draw. Now what? What do we need to draw now? A Muse? Muse does get stopped by what we got going on currently. Oddly enough, Fire Covenant would actually be reasonable on this board. Particularly on that turn. Now I don't think it's good enough anymore. Not afraid of Pyroclasm, huh? No serve. Oof. Send it back. Another seal. So let's end step. Terminate. Opponent can Seal of Fire my face and then activate or just let it go. Send the turn back. And I guess I'm going to terminate on their upkeep. All right now. We're not looking in great shape though. Oof. Yeah. Are we just dead now? I think we are. This is 6 damage. Yeah, we are just dead. Man, Sulfuric Vortex. What a beating. I guess this is fine. On the draw, Stupor becomes better too. On the play, I mean. Yeah, I think this is fine. I don't think we can realistically do better than this. Like, this is just the best configuration we can have. Yeah, this is gonna cost me. But this hand is probably too good to pass up. We need to find a fetch land or a swamp very, very quickly. I don't think I can give this curve up. Hopefully we got like a couple of mulligans or something. And that can put us in a decent spot. Move to 5. Seal of Fire. Can we find a swamp? If we find a swamp, I'm gonna be feeling in pretty good shape. Top deck another Seal of Fire. Alright. Let's go for the Rats. When I'm probably gonna discard the Bull Lining. And then play the Green Lavamancer next turn. Scroll. And Lavaman. No cards in hand for opponent. We got the answer to both cards. The question is if we do have the time. Go for Rat. Rat attack. And I think I'm gonna go for Rager actually. Going to swing here. 3. Going to terminate now that the Lavamancer is tapped. Terminate. Question is whether I want to overload here or not, but I think I'm just going to let my opponent tap. If they go land, they get a scroll activation, but otherwise I'm taking a damage that I don't otherwise need to take. Tainted Peak. So we're gonna overload now, and I think that I'm not going to attack, because otherwise if I attempt to Lava Dart. Yeah, so now I force my opponent to use an actual spell. Now I get to Bolt, and my opponent gets to ping me, but we did get some value on the way out. Ooh, Duress. I think they have Vortex in hand, or Bolt Lightning. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. So let's go for Bolt Lightning. No cards in hand. for either player. Let's draw something. It's not it. So I'm at a virtual 11 as is. Really gotta find something here. That is exactly what I was hoping for. At least at this point in the game. Stupor. I think I can try to hope that this Stupor is a little bit better. Okay, they cash in the Seal Fire. Barbering. Okay, I think it's likely they have Fire Blast in hand. They had another mountain. Going to Smother. They ping in response. We are at virtually 8. It's not great. Can we draw a Muse? Actually, they have a Lavaborn, so we are at less than 8. We're at 7. Yeah, this is... We do have a lot of dead draws at this point. We do have some strong draws, but we do have a lot of dead draws as well. Okay, that's one of the good ones. They can kill the Muse, but it's going to cost them 2 lands. Or they can just stop the lightning bolt, of course. Second Muse would also be good. Puts my opponent on a 1-turn clock. Double Barbering. Still have the dart. We untap. So at least this covers a potential bolt lightning off the top. So that's pretty good. My opponent is not respecting Lavaborn Muse. I am at virtually 5 as is. Seal of Fire. Virtually 3. Can I draw a lightning bolt? Pyroclasm. Perfect. Right on time. Yeah, I think I'm going to actually lose here. I guess it's gonna get down to whether my opponent respects lightning bolt out of me or not, because if they do respect the bolt, they have to kill the Muse right now. Okay, they do respect the bolt. Pass the turn. No cards in hand for my opponent. They have 6 total damage, so if they draw Fire Blast, we lose. And they found Fire Blast. Okay, so we're dead now. They also have exactly enough mountains. So this is kind of what I expected to happen in this matchup. We got pretty lucky that it didn't happen in game number 2. Like, I actually drew pretty well, but like now we saw that I drew like 4, 5, 6, 7, like however many dead draws in a row. And that is just, yeah, I just cannot keep up with that, right? Like, my opponent has much less dead draws in their deck. Like, so many of their cards are just doing stuff, while my amount of cards that actually do things are very limited. So to be fair there, it would have been interesting if we had drawn that Lavaborn Muse maybe a turn earlier or something like that. Things would have been going much better. But yeah, as I said in the beginning, like I do expect to lose that matchup, like the vast majority of the time. Well, there you go. Not a great showing for the deck, but we did learn some stuff. I was very disappointed by the Burning Wish. Like, this as a game plan was just kind of, it just never came together. Like, it was never a good card. So I do like this card in particular. I think Lavaborn Muse is like secretly very, very strong. And I do like the Rats Therapy Duress package that we have going on. This card just is not it. Like, the fact that you cannot get an actual win condition, besides Haunting Echoes, of course, but you cannot really get a win condition off the Burning Wish, which makes something like this, it just makes the deck really clunky. Like, we put our opponent in a situation where we were both on top deck mode multiple times, but then we just did not have anything to do with that. Like, we could not really capitalize on it, which made things really awkward. So if I were to play a deck like this, I think the Burning Witch package is not where it's at. Also, like, we do have some pretty mediocre cards in this sideboard in order to accommodate for Burning Wish, and like, we did kind of get hit by that. So if I were to try a similar shell in the future, I would definitely cut the wishes. Like, the wishes were really just bad. Maybe play like another copy of Skeleton Scrying. Like, Scrying was fantastic. The problem is, like, there were so many decks against which we could not really capitalize. Scrying is incredible out of the black-white control deck because it has some incidental life gain thanks to the Girard's Verdicts and the Angels. But this deck, I looked and there's not a single playable life gain card in the entire Premodern red and black card pool. So that makes the power of Scrying and Fire Covenant a lot more limited. Like, it makes things a lot more punishing, because it got to a point in a couple of situations where I could just not really Scrying properly. Like, I could not do it for the full amount. So I do think, obviously, Scrying is incredible, right? And I think it's extremely good out of the black-white and out of the Rock. I feel like the Rock should just be playing 2 Scryings, maybe more. Basically in every single configuration. In this deck, it did not feel as good. It's probably still fine, but we would need something in the place of the Burning Wishes. Like, there was no situation where this card was actively good. I think that we could cut it and just make room for maybe one more Stupor, one Stupor main deck, I mean. Maybe like we could try some Wretches in the main deck, which would open up sideboard slots. Out of the sideboard, I definitely want some number of Pyroblast, that's for sure. And then, yeah, I don't think that burn is fixable. I think that we just got very lucky to win even a game out of them. So I don't think that matchup is even worth trying to fight over. But we could use those sideboard slots to maybe play extra engineered plagues, maybe play some, I don't know, like maybe some more dust bowls for matchups where that can matter. Man, I don't even know what I would be looking for. The main issue has felt win conditions, right? Like Lavaborn Muse is like a spectacular win condition, and it's just like the second best is just not great. So I do feel like maybe what we need is just better win conditions. Maybe Lavamancers? No, Lavamancer can't be it. And I don't think it's Hypnotic Spectre either. Blazing Spectre, I'm also not impressed by. But yeah, there needs to be some other win condition that we can find. I will probably need to get into a gatherer like Scryfall Search and try to find something that can work alongside the muses. The actual concept felt good, like the idea of like a bunch of discard spells, therapies, and just like rats was surprisingly disruptive, which is kind of cool. Like to have Ravenous Rats be actually a decent Magic card in the Premodern format is like low-key pretty exciting. But yeah, I was so excited about trying Wish, and I'm so disappointed that it did not work out. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe on the way out, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, and bye-bye.